party. Whoops. There we go. And it says recording in progress, and my leave button came right up, and I'm like, nope, I'm not leaving. All right, so are we ready to go with headquarters? I'm assuming we're ready to go at headquarters. So, they're at the Zoom room, correct? And in the conference room, are we ready?
It's Skagit Station.
Okay, meeting is called to order for June for the CAC. And having said that, what I'd like to also do at the top of our agenda, I usually like to say, now that we're on YouTube, like and subscribe to the Skagit Transit YouTube channel, because our meetings are now there. The board meetings are up there, and the more likes it gets, then the more, the stronger the profile will be up on YouTube. So those of you who do YouTube, let's try to support that. That'd be awesome. Virtual attendees, if for any reason during this meeting, if you get some background interference, please mute yourself. Otherwise it's fine to stay unmuted, but if you get some background interference, just go ahead and mute until you want to talk and then unmute then. Okay, so having that out of the way, let's go ahead and do the roll call. Cheryl, if you would.
It'd be my pleasure. Doris Root. Don't see her right now.
Brevert, yeah, okay.
Ray Bach.
Here.
Present. BJ Carroll.
Present.
Craig Edens and Louise RSVP, they're not able to attend.
Okay.
Madeline.
Here.
Robin Gosney.
Yeah.
Chris Jones.
Here.
Judy Jones.
Here.
John Norman is here.
Here.
Good.
Monette Pardon. Dick Phillips.
I'm here.
Oh, good.
All right.
Hey, Manette.
Hi. I've been sick.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, so is Dick there?
No, Dick
was
is
that?
not here.
Okay.
Valerie RSVP'd that she was coming in person, but she's not here. Valerie? Dave Stevens. He's here.
Good. Glad to have you, Dave.
Daniel emailed me.
Yes. I'm here.
Oh,
Yay!
yay, Daniel. Okay, and Valerie just popped in person.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Yay! That's wonderful. Daniel, I'm glad to hear your voice.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And
All right, I think that, oops, sorry. Go ahead.
From Skagit Transit is Rogelio, Cheryl, and Stevie Matthews.
Well, welcome everybody. Well, Rogelio and Stevie, and of course, Cheryl. Thank you for putting this together, Cheryl. All you guys, thanks for putting this together. One thing I want to bring up really quickly, I've kind of let slide a little bit, but brought back up again in the emails, is some birthdays. Anybody who'd like to be on my birthday calendar, for the CAC, let me know. If you don't, that's fine. But if you do, that's fine. We just kind of like to acknowledge you guys and appreciate that you have a special day. And I think this month we've got we've got Dave, if I'm not mistaken, correct? And Robin's got a birthday.
Right.
And Cheryl has a birthday. Okay, so wishing y'all a happy birthday with a birthday song.
Dave said he's July.
July? Ooh, I'm going to have to change that. Well, thank you for the correction there. Da 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 da. That's the birthday song. So happy birthday to you guys. All right. Do we have any guest speakers today? Or any guests rather?
See on my screen up in the upper right is Joe Kensler next to a Skagit bus.
Yep. I'm just
Oh, very good. So you are a guest. I'm so glad you're here. All right. That's
Well-
wonderful.
well, we've got a new
Well, I mean,
planning director. and
public.
well,
Yeah,
it's nice to hear about the new
public comments.
planning new director, and I've got a few long-standing concerns for Skagit Transit, and I've meant to get around to putting them in the planning email, but I'm just so busy with stuff right now. I'm just
Sure.
working till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
some mornings, getting up at 9. But I want to first congratulate your new planning director. I understand she came all the way from the East Coast for some reason, all the way out to Little Skagit, so I'm flattered. Absolutely
Yeah.
flattered. I would like to see a few things added to Skagit Transit on a as able basis. One, I'd like to see a bus stop at Crosswind Drive and Higgins Airport Way.
Now,
Heritage Flight Museum is off of Crosswind, and I'd also like to see the 513 bus run on the Saturdays as well. And I know some of you have heard this concern for a long time, but I would like the span of service to go into the evenings. It's a great windfall for the Lyft drivers in our region, but it's not so great for our pocketbooks. So, but for those who don't know, span of service is the amount of time a transit runs. It'd be nice if it ran till 11 or such, but I understand if that's difficult. So, there you go for my comments, and also, does the CAC have openings? Because I might consider coming back.
okay, well, I appreciate your comments very much. And Joe, I must say, letting you guys know on the committee, Joe and I recently came off of a long stint with the non-driver seminar that took place over a period of 5 months. And they had quite an extensive report put together by, this was sponsored through Disability Rights of Washington. And there were a lot of comments, lots of input statewide from non-drivers. And this report, I made sure that it did go to our CEO, Crystal Stidham. She has it. Stevie Matthews, our new planning and outreach supervisor, has seen it. So it's going to the consultants from what I understand, and I'm really happy. And Joe, it was great serving with you on that committee.
Same here, and I'm sorry I didn't bring up the report in my comments, but thank you so much. It's good to hear our agencies reading it, because while I'm also on here, I'd like to give Island Transit a copy of it, but they are so busy right now that probably not a good idea to tap them on the shoulder, because they've got service changes going on. They had a CEO turnover, so keep your eyes peeled. Yeah, lots going on. So maybe
Plus,
we'll
they're
talk.
participating. They're participating in our study in the regional study too. So, with us in Whatcom County. So they're busy. Well, thank you very much for your comments, and I'm sorry for my interruption. I got a phone call that interrupted me, and I apologize about that. All right. Are there any that? I guess that takes care of guests and public comments as far as that goes. Let's go ahead and move now to the meeting minutes. Does anybody have any additions or corrections to the May minutes? All right,
Madam Chair,
hearing none.
Chris Jones.
Yes, sir, Chris Jones.
I would like to make a motion that the May minutes be accepted as submitted.
Okay, do we hear?
I will second that.
This is
Yeah. Dave and BJ, right?
Correct.
Chris and BJ.
Okay, it's been moved. It's been moved and seconded. These minutes be approved for May. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, any opposition? Oh, was that opposition?
No, I think Dave was being funny.
Oh,
I think you're
gonna give me one more gray hair there, Dave, huh? Okay, very good. Thank you all very much for approving of the May minutes. I appreciate that very much. Okay, now we come to welcoming our new planning and outreach supervisor, Stevie Matthews. Now, you are in person, correct, Stevie?
I am here.
Very good. I was hoping to be here, but wasn't going to it didn't work out this month. Hopefully, July will work out. So we are welcoming you. We are so glad to have you finally here in person, moved out to the Wild West.
And it's great to be here. I think I was sharing with everyone in the room when I got in. The movers left my house at 3:30, so I'm officially here.
You're a Skagitonian now. Okay, very good. Wonderful. Okay, then we've got somebody else. If she's present, did Irene Prokuski make it today?
I did. I'm here.
That is wonderful, and I'm thrilled. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person at some point. But we're coming to your introduction. I'm thrilled that you put in an application. I was hoping you would, and I saw that you did, and I'm very excited about that. That's very, very good. So would you like to tell us a little bit about, I think committee members, well, let me ask this. Have all of you seen Irene's information at this point?
This is Valerie. Her application is very thorough and very inspiring. I'm delighted that you've applied.
I know.
Yeah.
It was
I-
inspiring to me too.
With the help of Cheryl gave me some things that some questions that you might have for me. So I'm prepared to give you a little bit of background in my experience with mass transit. If you
Sure, go ahead and you're
Okay.
free to speak.
Okay, my name is Irene Prokuski. I don't mind Prokuski, but it is
Oh.
Prokuski. So
Thank you.
so I owned a home in Renton for 40 years, and I sold it about 5 years ago and have floated around for a while. And I moved up to Mount Vernon during COVID about 4 years ago. So I've been here for 4 years now. And so I am a mass transit user. I have always used mass transit. When I was working, I was living, some of the time I was living in Renton, and I worked in Everett, and I organized a band pool and drove a band pool for 3 or 4 years. I've ridden my bike to work for multiple years, 2 or 3 times a week. So I thoroughly believe that we absolutely have to move towards mass transit. Just in general, it's just crazy out there. But I also use Skagit Transit. So I moved up here 4 years ago. One of the biggest challenges was getting to the airport. And I know we have Bel Air, the airporter, but it's nice to be able to get all the way to the airport for $2. And so I take the 90X to the Amtrak station, take the 512 down to Northgate Station, take the Link Light Rail down to the airport. But not only that, I've trained my friends and family to come up using mass transit. And I think including anyway, so they often don't make it all the way up here to Mount Vernon. I usually wind up picking them up somewhere around Northgate or Amtrak, but because that's pretty cruel to make them do but it does take almost 3 hours to get there. And then the other, in fact, since I live down in Renton, I still have a lot of friends down there. So I will even take mass transit all the way down to Tacoma. And I usually make it to Angle Lake and somebody picks me up. And so, and let's see so the airport, and then even getting to Wisconsin. So my last trip to Wisconsin, I took, that's where my daughter lives, and I had 6 bags that I put on the 90X, and that took me to the Amtrak station. And then I went on the train all the way to La Crosse, Wisconsin, where my daughter lives, and she lives 3 miles from the Amtrak station. So if I flew in, I'd have to fly into Minneapolis, St. Paul, or Rochester, and it would be a pain to come and get me. So in other words, I do a lot to purposely take mass transit because I think it's not only well worth it, but it also saves gas and energy and time on the road. But let's see. And I take mass transit wherever I go. I think I've taken an Uber in the last 4 or 5 years, maybe one time. And it doesn't, I mean, I was in Croatia, I took the bus station. I was in, New York, I'll take mass transit. Anywhere. I was in London. I never take Uber or anything. I'll always look towards mass transit. But let's see, what else?
Wow.
Yeah, so and my friend, I've got a friend that lives on Whidbey Island, so she'll come up using the island transit and get dropped off at Marsh Point, and then I go pick her up at Marsh Point. So I think so I think all of that together, plus, when you combine walking and biking and the train and the bus and I mean, sometimes it's pretty difficult, but you can get there. Most of the time.
Yes.
But
And of course, the aim is to make it more efficient. And I think that they're really working on doing, with these studies to hopefully do that for us.
yeah, especially when there's a big event. Like I went down to Seattle Center for Folk Life the weekend before last. And I go downtown and then I take the monorail up to get to get to the Seattle Center. So when I saw the opening for the advisory committee, I thought, this is perfect for me because I really do believe in it. And that's why I'm interested in being on the CAC.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And I think it ties also into global warming and doing everything you possibly can to conserve our resources.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I can bring to the group, I've got, I think a lot of it is just my experience getting around in mass transit and using it. And then I think since everybody uses mass transit so differently, I think it's really helpful because I think there's a certain group of people, especially people that live in urban high density areas, that will use mass transit just as second nature. But for the people that are a little out and maybe a little difficult to get to even if you have to walk a half mile or a mile, that can start to pose problems in getting people places. And those are the people that don't know about transit and don't know how to use it. I have every time my friends, what I'll do is I will actually bring them down and I will take them downtown Seattle on the 90X, get them there because they don't know how to do it. It's for people that have used their cars forever, And so I think that's a whole group of people that to go after to help utilize the resources. But
Absolutely.
yeah, and then I'll wrap it up here in a second. As far as my work history, I'm retired from Boeing in commercial and government procurement and contract management, intellectual property. I worked in Iraq for Halliburton for a bit over a year. Was in newspaper advertising for 20 years as a layout artist and sales rep. And then I ran an after-school program at Maywood Middle School in the Issaquah School District. My education, I have a BA in education. I was certified K-8. I am retired, by the way. I have a master's certificate in project management, certificate in contract management, and I don't know if I'm lean manufacturing Six Sigma Green Belt trained, which is I don't know if you know that it's a way to do things faster, better, quicker, way to take a look at things from different perspectives. So anyway,
like an efficiency,
pardon me?
Like an efficiency expert type.
Yeah.
That kind of,
Yeah.
But,
And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions.
Sure. Let's open up the floor for anybody have questions for Irene?
I'm wondering about the cost comparison. She mentioned that she can get so far on $2 down to the airport for $2 instead of taking the
so how I do that?
whatever I took a few years back, and I just I admire that kind of ingenuity and thinking it through, but it must take quite a bit of research finding all these things out, I would think.
Well, I've done it so many times now that I pretty much have it down fairly well. There are times when I take the Bel Air Airporter just because, it depends on the time of night, because the 90X only runs to about 7 o'clock. So sometimes I'll actually schedule my flight so that I can take the 90X. And then when I find myself, like when I come in from Wisconsin, now I've done that 4 or 5 times. So when I come down from Wisconsin, the 90X on the weekend leaves at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock or something like that. And the train comes in at 1 o'clock. And so I sometimes will watch the 90X go by me as I'm running with my bags trying to catch it. And that's a tough one because I usually wind up there for 2 hours then. But anyway, I think it's so valuable to use mass transit. I really do. And I practice what I preach. So, yeah.
So we're all kind of mass transit evangelists in our way, with how we do this. All right. Any other questions for Irene?
I don't think so. Just
Okay.
welcome. Sounds like a lot of great experience that can add depth to our feedback here.
Yeah. Okay. Those of us on Zoom, maybe it might be a good idea if when we talk, we identify ourselves.
Hi, my name's Doris.
Doris, and then former was Robin, who had talked. And so anyway, that's really good. What our procedure is, Irene, is if you're interested in being a CAC member, we do vote on the board. We vote on recommending that the Skagit Transit Board bring you in as a member. So this is what we do. We vote on recommendations. So at this time, what we're going to do is we'll have you leave the room, run out of the room, and then we will take a vote, and if the vote is a yay, then the recommendation will be given to the board that they make it official that you are a CAC member by their vote. So we'll just go ahead and proceed at this time. If you want to leave the room just quickly, and then Cheryl, let me know when she has left the room, and then we'll
Okay.
proceed.
Hold on. Okay, the door is shut and she's in the hall.
All right. Any questions or discussion among the members? Let's open the floor.
I'm willing to recommend her. I think I really like her experience. This is Daniel, by the way. And
Okay, thank
the fact that she like she says, she practiced what she preach, and it's a good thing to have one member who's also a dedicated person in catching buses and believing in mass transit.
This is Valerie. This is Valerie, and I agree with everything Daniel just said.
Great. Any other comments?
This is BK
Sounds like-
Carroll, and I suggest that we approve her.
Okay, anyone want to bring a motion forward?
I so move.
Yes.
I second
I
it.
second.
Okay. Oops. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that Irene Prokuski be brought in as a CAC member, be recommended to the board to vote her in as a CAC member. All who approve, say aye.
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 Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed, same sign. It's been moved and approved. We have a new member and our slate is full, you guys.
What?
This is the first time we've had a full slate. This is
Wonderful.
crazy. I know. Da, 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 da. I mean, it's the first time since I've been with had a full slate. This is great. This is great. All right, so let's bring her back in and we'll give her the good news. Let me know when she's back in, Cheryl, please.
Will do. Madam Chair, Irene has joined the group.
Okay. And Irene, it's my distinct pleasure to announce to you that we have voted the recommendation be forwarded to the board to bring you in as a CAC member. What's going to happen now is our board meeting is held the third Wednesday of the month, and I usually attend those as well to give a report. But I will make sure that that recommendation is the upper thing in the report. And once, as if the board approves you as a CAC member, I personally will get hold of you. We'll arrange a phone call I want to give you some further details about the committee and kind of what we do. And that's kind of what our procedure is going to be. So our board meeting is going to be a week from tomorrow. And you will hear one way or the other after that board meeting. Do you have any questions for us?
Judy, it'll actually be the 20th this one time. Thursday, the 20th.
I haven't gotten that information yet. Thursday, the 20th?
That's correct.
Okay, that's news to me. Thank you for letting me know. I hadn't seen that yet, so I appreciate that. Thursday, the 20th, then. Thank you. Okay. All right. So, do you have any questions for us, Irene?
No, I think I'm good. So the board meeting will be on the 20th, and then after that, you'll contact me and
Right.
Judy, you will, and Okay,
Yes.
all right.
I think
I'll
that's
look
great.
forward to hearing from you then. Thanks.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you applying and we'll definitely stay in touch. Okay, so next, moving on, we've got the CAC UMO annual pass. Is this who's presenting here?
You did the digging.
Okay, Judy, it's Cheryl.
Okay, thank you.
So, my understanding is that the CAC UMO Pass is for all transportation within Skagit County and on the connectors. So
This is
it would be good for the 90X as well as the 80X on WTA or our own Skagit Transit. There seems to be some mechanism issues and I'm having Valerie assist me.
And I keep writing the ADX, but it keeps being, let's see, so between Skagit County and Bellingham, the ADX runs sometimes with a Skagit Transit bus, sometimes with a WTA bus. A couple months ago, the WTA bus would not accept my WTA pass, excuse me, my UMO pass. And since then, I have ridden the bus and it's always a Skagit Transit bus. So I have not yet had a chance to test it. I will be coming back. I'll be riding within the next week, and I hope to get a WTA bus and report back whether the pass is accepted. That's what I can tell you at this point.
So we're in progress.
okay. So as I understand it, what's happening is WTA, this regional pass should extend on with the WTA. And so far, Valerie, you've been riding Skagit Transit buses up that way, or like in your route, so you've not been able to test on an actual WTA fixed route. Is that correct?
It's not the WTA fixed route. It's let's see. The ADX sometimes uses a Skagit Transit coach, sometimes uses a WTA coach. So, but I know our passes don't work on the WTA routes outside of the ADX. So I'm hoping that when I ride this weekend, it'll be a WTA bus. I can try it out and report back. That's what I can tell.
Okay. So they work on the connectors, but the other is what you're saying, as far as what you know. Okay.
A couple of months,
Right.
Judy?
Yes.
Judy, this is Valerie again. A couple months ago, I rode the ADX, a WTA coach, and it would not accept my pass. And that was reported to Skagit Transit, talked to Whatcom Transit. Hopefully they've worked that. Hopefully
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Annette? Okay, I think, go ahead, Valerie.
I wish there was a way to put phone calls on hold. Let's see. So in theory, our passes work on all ADX buses. A couple months ago, I rode on the ADX when it was a WTA coach. It did not accept my pass. I reported that to Cheryl, and Skagit Transit has talked to Whatcom Transit. We hope it's been resolved, but I haven't had a chance to test this yet. I hope, because I keep riding buses and they're Skagit coaches. I hope this weekend when I ride, it will be a WTA coach. I will report back.
And this is what I have. I just wanted to confirm that I had it correct. Okay. All right. So so Cheryl, where are we in this resolution process? Like what actually is the process and where are we at with it?
So Skagit Transit has been talking to WTA and the manufacturer of the software that we both use. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're waiting for someone to test it after they had conversations.
Okay. Okay. So they're having the conversations, and so is there a date when to check back with everybody involved and say, hey, what do you know? Like, when's the follow-up date? Is there a follow-up date to figure out?
The follow-up will occur after Valerie gets to test it.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. And then I'm taking notes on there with a WTA. Okay, gotcha. So that's what they're waiting on. All right. Very good. Very good. Any other questions for this, the UMO pass issue from anybody else?
I'm just
Okay.
curious,
Ray.
for Valerie, is this when you're trying to catch a bus from Skagit Valley up to Whatcom? How about from Whatcom back? Have you had any experience that way?
Yes, I've ridden both ways, and the one time it was a problem was when it was a WTA coach. And I think that was coming from Bellingham to Skagit.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My question is whether it was a mechanical problem that the system didn't accept your UMO pass, or was it a driver that said no?
It was it was the machine, not the driver.
Okay.
Okay, very good. All right. Any other questions for Valerie or Cheryl on this? Okay, then we're going to go ahead and move on to the staff report. And this is going to be Stevie's first report.
Judy, this is Manette. Can you hear me?
Yes, Manette. Yes, I can.
Well, good, because I was trying to make a comment earlier and I couldn't get through.
We could hear you saying hello, hello, and we thought you had a phone call.
No, I was trying to talk to you guys. I was trying to talk to you, to the group.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay.
that's my question. I thought they were being territorial and they wouldn't let her use her pass because it wasn't Whatcom County, but I guess the system then, and we're waiting for a resolution.
I don't think they're being territorial. It's a, it's one of those technology, glitches
Yes,
that is hopefully being resolved.
Yes. Yes.
And Manette, I'm sorry if I didn't recognize you as trying to make a comment. If you want to do that, and I apologize, to say this is Manette, or I have this is Manette with a comment, or something like that. So I apologize for.
I made a comment and then I couldn't hear anything, and I said hello, 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 and I tried *6 a couple of times and didn't get anywhere. And I got my cell phone. I was going to call somebody, but it got resolved. Thank God.
Okay, well, I apologize if I messed up for you, but I'm glad that you finally did get to say something about that. Okay, so the ridership report for Stevie. Go ahead.
I hope everyone can hear me while the train goes by.
Oh.
Yeah. Or we can wait a moment.
We got a train coming by. Let's wait just a moment.
Yeah. Can't hear it. It's weird.
I know. It's really loud and.
That's really bizarre. I can't hear it, and I always do.
I'm not hearing it today either.
Yeah.
I know it's it's pretty boisterous when you're sitting there in the room, but we do
Yeah.
not hear it
Oh,
on the
yeah.
phone. Isn't that interesting? Oh, well.
Yep, makes the coffee cups
Yeah.
dance and everything else.
He's shaking the screen.
Oh, gee,
Oh my God.
must be a long one.
Oh my God. Oh my.
Right, here we go. Now we're back. Okay, so I'm going to have to apologize that I do not have the ridership report done. There are some things I cannot access unless I'm physically on site, which begins tomorrow. So if you guys would like the information emailed, or you can always talk to me directly thereafter, but I have to get on site to finish a few more of these things. Did you have any other specific questions, Judy, or do you just want me
Oh, no,
to
no,
share what else
that's
I've got
fine.
going on?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and move to the long range transit plan.
That's where I was gonna go next.
Okay.
We have been kind of going back and forth with them. The consultants have given us kind of only bits and pieces. And I've asked them to go back and, drill down a little bit more. Because we don't feel that we can make large scale decisions for long-term planning based on roughly about 100 people's feedback. So I have gotten the raw data from them so we can actually see what people are specifically saying. They're going to continue to work on kind of the state of the system report, what it is that they're looking at, where they layer different aspects of the county onto maps and determine, where service belongs, where there would be gaps. And I'm kind of working through this with them in different ways as I had been doing, in my previous role, so that we can start to change our system so it's more beneficial to the people who want to use it and make it more understandable for folks who don't know how to use it. And I'm definitely going to lean on Irene to learn how you are willing to make so many transfers to get where you're going. Because the city I came from they were very spoiled. They all had 1-seat rides. And when we tried to change that where anybody had to make one transfer whatsoever, they had a meltdown. So we're hoping to give some more direct access, but not guarantee everything is a 1-seat ride, because then, like you said, you'll be on the bus for 3 hours at a time, and that's not desirable. I feel like there was one more point with these we wanted to make. If it comes back to me, I'll jump back in, but we are waiting for them to do a little bit more of an analysis to get back to us. And we internally are going to try to do some more outreach over the summer for different demographics that they didn't really get any feedback from during that first round, that I think their insight will be crucial in devising system changes.
Okay. This is Judy with a question. Did they get any bits or snippets? I know it was late coming in at all, but anything off of that non-driver report that I sent in to you guys, to you and Crystal? Did any of that stuff get turned into them?
We haven't met with them since you submitted that to talk to
Okay.
them. So I'll have to get back to you after they get the chance to review it.
That's fine. Okay, any questions for Stevie on this portion? If not, let's go to the customer service comments portion. I'm interested in hearing about this.
I guess that's me again, huh?
Yeah, it is. It is.
This is one where we are working back and forth. Judy, you and I had talked on the phone about how to compile some of this data, and this is one of the things that I'm gonna kind of kick off with tomorrow to talk with the operations folks and customer service to see where and how like the different avenues of this information comes in, where it's stored, so that we can start bringing it to the meetings to say, these are the types of things people are saying to us, these are the requests, this is the nature of complaints, still keeping it somewhat anonymous to, you know, protect the people who are submitting the information. So yeah, be prepared for next month for that to be a more broad topic. And we can include that kind of information in the long range plan when we're building some of these other changes in.
And then I also may appoint a member to work with you on this too, you know, kind of as you can work with a member together, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and delegate that, you know, delegate that to you so you could work with this particular person sort of as a, you know, like as a representative on this as a C. The way we have Doris and Valerie working with connectors, I've got someone in mind to help you with these customer comments. So I'll let you know about that. All right. So Stevie next. Wait. Stevie or Cheryl, Children of the Valley, who does this? The next bullet point, Children of the Valley.
Hold on, we're getting a mic to somebody.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we had 2 events last week, but I was sick and I was out for those 2 events.
Oh, and this is Rogelio for anybody who wants to know.
Oh yeah, I'm Rogelio.
Okay.
But fortunately for us, Leventure Middle School invited us back out. So next week we're gonna do an event with them. Oh yeah, and it's yeah, so yeah, we're reaching out different demographics here. Hopefully they can help us out with the long range transit plan. Oh yeah, sorry, I was talking to Mike. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. We're doing a lot of events now, so we're picking up speed. So I think the next big event that we have is this Saturday at the Berry Dairy Days.
Uh-huh.
We had a blast from the past at Cedar Woolley last week. Great event, great exposure. So yeah, that's all from me.
Okay, so what you're reporting on is that you had participation, Skagit Transit had participation in these events. Correct?
He said yes, but I took his microphone away.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right. We come to the commissioner. Who does this commissioner presentation? May 20th?
I can speak to that. Crystal and myself, Crystal Stidham and Cheryl Willis, presented at the commissioner meeting on the 20th of May. And the commissioners were very interested in hearing about the long range transit plan and how it's progressing. And they're going to assist with getting additional feedback, which is great.
Yeah, any feedback we can get. Okay. Now, did they ask any questions that stuck out to you at all?
It was kind of interesting. They were talking about the one thing that's stuck in my mind about how one of them had done a scenario called trying to remember the title of it, something like Impoverished for a Day. And they went through the steps of someone who has nothing and what a typical day of what that person might encounter. And that was very enlightening for them to understand what a key role transit plays for many people. A vulnerable
It's sort of an
population.
immersion experience. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Um, all right. So I think that that's all I have at this point for staff reporting. And we come to the connector committee report. And Valerie, you just reported on the WTA thing that kind of ran into the UMO. Is there anything else taken the connectors that you have the report on, or did we pretty much cover that above?
I think we covered it.
Okay. Very good. And I've got the information clear, so we're good there. So that also, wow, that brings us basically to our roundtable session. Does anybody have any issues that they would like to bring up? Anything at the roundtable? Now is your time to bring up something new.
Oh, Judy, this is Minette.
What? Okay, Minette.
Hello? Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
When you talked about commissioners, was that county commissioners?
County commissioners.
Okay. And they had a positive attitude towards our increasing public transportation. I'm glad to hear that, because although it may be possible to get to all those places Irene talked about, it sounds like it's a torturous travel arrangement, and it would be nice to be able to streamline that.
Well, I think that would be good. One thing too, Minette, that you've brought up for me, and this is Judy, is and Stevie would know about this. I didn't know about it because we didn't live here then, but back in was it 2017 or 16 when they had the mudslides here, there was a point where Minette told me where the community transit was actually coming up into Mount Vernon to pick up people. You know, it was more like kind of an emergency situation, correct?
Yeah.
Because of the slides, and they were picking things.
Excuse me, but the reason I knew about it was because they drove past. They went through the Peace Health Clinic parking lot, and I could see them out the window from the fitness center. And that's how I knew they were out there. And I ran out there and I said, "My gosh, what are you guys doing up here?" And he said, "We're helping out with the Oso mudslide," which shows me that it wouldn't necessarily have to take an emergency to get community transit up here. If they could work it out then, they should have got something now.
If they could reach up into here to help with some of the connectivity. And this is something I've wondered about. So, so while we're doing our long range planning, it's just a wonder is why, if there isn't a way to be able to work something out with, so that ultimately some deal could be struck or made or worked out somehow where community transit could really reach up into here. I wonder if something like this is possible.
Yeah, because it would really be wonderful. Then I would have an opportunity to go see people in my family without going through my husband or going through some tremendous effort. You know, I'm looking for a real good connection so that I can buzz down there to Mount Lake Terrace or Linwood, or even get to Everett and go from there. But something that works so that Skagit and Snohomish County are better connected.
Yeah, have what would be kind of cool is to have well, it's not the same with WTA because we have the same UMO card, but if we could have a different kind of partnership with community transit, like you said, where there would be more flow, more networking. And so Stevie, I'm glad you're on board with the CAC today, because this would be, like Manette said, if this transit has been done between community transit and Skagit Transit, even in an emergency situation, is there something long range that could be worked out with them, is what the real question is.
Yeah.
Is of understanding.
Right.
Any other comments or questions or new topics for roundtable?
I got a few if you got time.
Okay, Joe.
First, I'd love to hear the story how we landed a planner from I think it's Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. That's sure got to be.
Pittsburgh, yes.
I stand corrected. Thank you. I got to hear the story how you came out here.
It's just kind of where I wanted to live, and I have a passion for what I do. And something was available, so I thought, oh, I'll put in for it. And we just really clicked when I interviewed. So I guess it was meant to be.
Sounds great. Really appreciate
so-
having advice
Yeah,
from
tell us
one
a
to
little bit-
big transit.
I'm sorry, Joe. There was a lag here. It was I was going to ask Stevie really brief, a little expensive transit that you came from, because you also have been you have embraced mass transit as a personal situation too, correct?
Your line kind of broke up in the middle, so I'm going to hope I interpret what you said there. So yeah, my background is in both larger urban settings and some in smaller urban and even in rural. I ran operations for a while as well, other than doing planning and scheduling. I've done paratransit, fixed route, inclines, light rail. And I even worked privately on Walt Disney World property for a while as well. So I have a lot of varied experience, and I'm hoping that all of those different tentacles that I've got out there can help wrap up our long range plan into something that works for everyone.
So also, and I'm sorry I broke up, tell everybody how many fixed routes you worked with, how many advisory committees you worked with, how many light rails you had, in the system that you came from.
Okay. In Pittsburgh, we had 5 garages. 4 were specifically for fixed route. 1 was for light rail. We had 3.5 light rail lines. More information later if that's interesting. 2 inclines, and that was about 100 routes, 700 buses a day. Let me think. We had 2 specific advisory groups, one kind of overall like you guys do, and then one subset of that was very specific to communities with specific needs, whether that be language barriers, physical barriers, financial, whatever held people up from being able to ride, as opposed to any other choice rider. We help try to break down those barriers. Was there another piece, Judy, that I'm missing?
No, I mean, that impressed me. I'm like, man, all those routes and all those light rails and gee whiz, just juggling all those boxes. I'm like, man, that's some experience.
Yeah,
Any
and I
questions?
started that all at the beginning of COVID with no help, so I might be a little bit crazy.
What's the incline?
Oh, thank you. I was going to ask that.
What is an incline? Yes, what is that?
Inclines are really old school elevators is probably the best way to do. It is considered, it falls under FTA, so the Federal Transit Administration for rail, but they're only very short spans and they go up very steep inclines or hills. So they would be more steep than what like the trolleys in San Francisco would have. They're specific to
Wow.
mountains. So there aren't very many of them left in the world. And I've worked for 2 different agencies that had them. They are very antiquated technology, but they are always listed under the like National Historic Trust. So they're well funded to be taken care of, but nobody makes the stuff anymore. You really have to have someone who's specialized, like custom make parts for the engines and all of the systems that keep the pulleys running. So it's really interesting if you're ever able to, you know, do like a tour behind the scenes of that kind of stuff. I would recommend it.
Wow. So it's an incline that you're saying an elevator. Is this something that people, is it like a ferry that people's cars get on to make the incline, or for people to get on to how, what is that? What actually is that?
If you imagined a single train car that went diagonally instead of from side to side, you know,
Yeah.
to go up a
Yep.
mountain, they're very steep. So that's what it looks like.
Okay. Wow.
So is it almost like a cable car then?
Yeah, it would look similar. Yes.
Very interesting. Wow. Okay. Does anybody have anything else for roundtable or anything you want to bring up or ask or thing we should know about?
Yeah, just the news. I'm a father for the 3rd time since May 30th. So, yeah.
I was done yet.
Wonderful, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, you know, that I made this complaint before. I will make it again. I wish we'd have a conversation about some kind of span of service extension, even if it's just, you know, a van. And I'm just spitballing ideas out there. Okay. Even if it's an on-demand van that starts at 7 o'clock to beat the Amtrak and ends at like 11, 9 would be fine. Just take you to a city center and drop you there and say, sorry, you gotta walk, or drop you at your front door even, you know, and it's like, and this route charges a premium fare, like $10, $15.
Now, is this a specific route that you're talking about, or is this system wide? You'd like to see service until 11 p.m.
System wide, because, you know, we
Yeah.
have Amtrak Cascades pull in. And I think, and my perception is from outside, they changed their schedules because I kept complaining about the fact that we turn off our system during the week at the 9 o'clock and on the weekends at 6. But, you know, when the Amtrak pulls in at 7:30 and if it's late, you know, if it's more than 15 minutes late, then I wonder, am I going to get home and see the Willie?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
this
a
is something we've
problem.
been asking for a long time. And I mean, ever since I've been here, I know. Yeah. Expanded service. I think that's one of the first things on the surveys, from what I understand. And, well, if there isn't else, it is 32. And the thing is, sometimes we do go over 5:30 a little bit, and anybody who has to leave exactly at 5:30, I totally understand. But you know, so just know that if you have to leave at 5:30, that's great. Sometimes we might go over, but I think we're pretty much done for tonight. So unless somebody has anything else that has to come up tonight, do you want to entertain a motion to adjourn?
I'll make this is Manette. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I second it.
Okay.
Seconds.
Okay.
Okay. All right. It's been moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, meeting is adjourned. Meeting is
See you
adjourned.
next month.
Sure.
Thank you.
If there was any other comment,
You bet.
go ahead and write me, you guys, if I skimmed over something I didn't mean to. Go ahead and write me. Okay, bye-bye.
Right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.